Welcome, everybody. This is the Everything Podcast crew. I'm here with Andrew and Aiden. We're going to be talking about the Microsoft Activision deal. First, let's start with your guys' thoughts on it. So, Andrew, what is your thought on the deal?
Deal should be going through.
Aiden?
Honestly, it doesn't really change anything except for the fact that Microsoft is getting more and more companies.
So, you don't think it should be denied?
Well, I mean, it really depends, though, doesn't it? It depends on how you yourself do it.
True.
One person can be happy with it, one person can be upset with it.
Beijing is the latest country to approve the deal. And prior to that would be Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Serbia, Chile, Japan, South Africa, Ukraine, and the EU. Countries still mulling it over include Australia, New Zealand, etc., including the US. And that. Now, I personally don't think the US will accept or decline. I think they're just going to stand on a neutral since the lawsuit from the judge in the Gamers Association. The judge denied the lawsuit. So I don't know what the FTC is going to do with it. But the UK's biggest problem with it was the cloud gaming. And we've talked about this off camera before. Microsoft already owns 60 to 70% of cloud gaming. Sony doesn't really have much of cloud gaming. The rest would be going to like Nvidia and other companies like that. So what would the UK's honest motive would be for it? Did they get paid off by Sony?
Yes.
Because this doesn't make much sense when it comes to Microsoft wanting to buy a company. Fair, $68.7 billion deal, and just be told no, they can't because it's not fair to cloud gaming. It's not fair to other companies. Microsoft offered 10-year deals to Nintendo, Steam, Nvidia, etc. Even offered the 10-year deal to Sony. Sony declined. Only company to decline. So, what's not fair about that?
I mean, it's all fair, but the problem is Sony wants to, since they have a timed exclusive, Sony gets a cut of that Activision profit. And so, with Sony losing out on that profit, they're thinking that they're going to go down into the shitter.
So, Aiden, what do you think the U.S. is going to do with the FTC?
I don't know, to be honest.
Do you think Microsoft should have the ability to buy Activision?
I think Microsoft should be allowed to do whatever it wants. I just think, the three biggest game companies are Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. So just because one of those three wants to buy a smaller, developing company doesn't mean anything serious. It's not like they've literally gone out and said, "Oh, Call of Duty is now going to be a Microsoft exclusive." No, they haven't said that at all.
Yeah, well, they offered the 10-year contract to bring to keep it with them. With that being said, Microsoft has to keep the agreement that Activision and Sony currently have, which is 2 years left on their contract for exclusive content. But Microsoft did, in fact, offer them the 10-year agreement, and from what we understand, Sony declined, and then the lawsuits started pouring in, or the blocking started pouring in. So one other problem Sony had was it said it was going to stop innovation. I don't buy that, to be quite honest, because games are developed every year. New ones.
I have a question. Activision is a developing company. Wouldn't you both agree with me?
Yes. Activision
Well,
is...
Activision is a publishing company, but yeah.
Well, wouldn't the Call of Duty industry much still kind of be the same if the employees under the Activision name were named?
No, because of the fact that with Activision, if it's just straight up Activision, then obviously Sony is not going to, or Activision is not going to renew the Sony contract because they're seeing they're seeing Sony's greed, and they straight up said that if the contract doesn't go through, we are not negotiating another exclusivity contract with Sony.
Well, no, because Sony screwed Activision, basically. If this deal doesn't go through and Microsoft can't buy Activision, Sony screwed Activision out of almost $70 billion. So why would you renegotiate a contract with them for pennies?
Yeah. So I could see Microsoft getting like timed exclusive, but I don't think Microsoft's going to push the timed exclusive that much.
Why? Why would you do that when you can buy them? You already have the money. It's already been offered.
Yeah, but see, if it gets denied, they can't rebuy them. Because then, obviously, with the track record of it already being denied, it's still going to get denied no matter what. So it's like you can negotiate a contract without it getting denied. So I could see Activision going to Microsoft being like, hey, you want some timed exclusives? And I can see Microsoft being like, yeah, we can have some timed exclusives, but we're not going to be outrageous like how Sony is.
With that being said, on things being exclusive, Microsoft doesn't have very many exclusive games compared to Sony. Sony has God of War, The Last of Us, Spider-Man, and etc. And those are big games, right? Microsoft had Halo as an exclusive, right? And then it got brought to PC. There's not another really big game that's exclusive to Microsoft.
Yeah, because of the fact that since Microsoft heavily invested in both platforms to game equally rather than separately, like how it always has been. And so, with that being said, it's like, well, now Microsoft doesn't really have any exclusive. Yes, they got good IPs. Don't get me wrong. They still have Halo, they still have Gears of War. They still have those IPs, but it's not like, oh, we're going to release it on let's look at Sony, right? Release it on PS5 for 2 years, and then 2 years later, let's release it on PC.
That's exactly what they've done.
Well, that's why I said Sony's doing it. But Microsoft is straight up, oh, it's going to get released at the exact same time. Like, look at Halo Infinite. Both on the Xbox and PC, day one,
that's
which was
the
November
difference
15th.
between Microsoft saying that, oh, this is an Xbox exclusive, and PlayStation saying, this is going to be a PlayStation exclusive for this amount of time until it goes to PC.
Because, let's think about it this way, right? Let's say you want to purchase, a new exclusive title, right? Let's say you don't have a game console, you're new to this market. What are you going to pick up? Are you going to pick up an Xbox? Well, you got to look at the pros and cons. Let's look at Xbox. Yes, it has good hardware. Yes, it has good stable internet connection and all that kind of crap. But the same game is also on PC. But then it's like, well, okay, do I buy an Xbox console or do I buy a PC?
Well, with that being said, PCs are arguably more expensive.
Yes, they are more expensive, but they last longer than a console does. A console lasts up to 7 years before a whole new generation comes out. A PC could last like 10 years before it's even worth of an upgrade.
Sony goes based off of them saying that the acquisition would, like I said earlier, basically, ruin the competitiveness, right, of games. They have developers like Avalanche still, Rockstar. Being granted, Avalanche just came out the Hogwarts Legacy game, which more than likely can end up winning Game of the Year. I think it'll be that or the Star Wars game that came out this month.
No Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah. I think those are the two biggest games that came out. And those both are not, those both were released on everything. The Hogwarts Legacy will be released shortly on Nintendo, but as of the Fallen Order, I don't believe so.
No, because EA has no incentive of releasing any AAA games on a fucking Switch, minus Apex.
Well, they do have FIFA on there. FIFA is an EA game. Well, not for much longer, yes, Aiden. FIFA is getting separated from them, and they're going to be two separate games.
Yeah, it's because of the fact that FIFA realizes how fucking EA is running the fucking money.
But you have other developers like Avalanche and Rockstar. Rockstar arguably also has one of the biggest games in the world in GTA. So
GTA 5 for the last 10 plus fucking years.
So I don't believe Sony has the right to say, editor's note, the ending of this podcast got corrupted. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the post notification bells, and check out Andrew's YouTube channel, capital C, capital N, space, Big Gamer, BIGGAMER, space 96. He's got good gaming content out there, and we'll catch you with the next video.